Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. This is Gray's Guitars, and we have a interesting comparison where I think I found two brands based out of the same exact factory, but it's going to be a slight difference with the way they are designed. But I think I found kind of the American equivalent of Harley Benton. So Monoprice Stage Right Series Guitar Amplifier 2x12 extension cabinet with 2x12 Celestion Vintage 30s speakers. And I'm not sure how long these have been around. Got some decent reviews. If you don't want to have to wait around, you get this thing in 3 days if you order it off of here. If you have Prime. So if you have Prime, that is definitely a plus. Just looking at the cabinet, very simple. Go to the Harley Benton cabinet. Similar, not exactly the same. I would say the materials are definitely the same. You can see the white piping around it. The logo's a little bit different, obviously. But major difference with these two is, do you want the closed back or do you want the semi-open back? Because to my knowledge, in this configuration with the Vintage 30s, unless you get one of the Plus series, which is a little bit more expensive, you're not able to have that semi-open back or open back. Yes, theoretically, you could completely take the back off of this cabinet if you really wanted to. But price-wise, let's take a look at that next. Now, I know you're thinking, $249, isn't that significantly cheaper than the Monoprice at $369? And now you would be correct. However, you're forgetting that you've got about $100 of shipping on top of this. So if you're shipping it from the U.S., from Thomann to the USA, you got to factor in about $100 in shipping. Review-wise, they actually have very similar reviews. Like, oh, good speakers, good cabinet. This one, they thought it was a fake one. They were using a different style of Vintage 30. Still a Vintage 30, but it had a clear cone versus a mesh one, and they switched back to the mesh version, and I was told that those are the better version. Do I have both to compare it to? No. No, I do not. I have a Carvin amp. I don't even own an amp currently with Vintage 30s, but I've been looking at one, which is why this thing popped up. And a 2x12 with Vintage 30s. And if you go over to Reverb, oh, look at that. If you're getting it from the USA, from the Reverb site, same exact price. Exact same price, the $369 compared to that. So, another thing that is a more close comparison is these little amps. So this is a little 5-watt amp here. I think it's got a couple of tubes in it. $169. Not bad price for a little practice amp, a little tube amp, a couple of the knobs. And then let's go over to Harley Benton. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is the same amp. That is the exact same thing. Celestion equipped, except it's a different logo. Yep, you got yourself a different logo on there. Look, 2 knobs, button, input, light thing. 2 knobs, button, input, light thing. So yeah, this is the exact same manufacturer, like to a T. Handles are the same. Everything's the same. So this Monoprice Stage Right brand, if you're looking to get stuff faster and essentially get some of the same stuff that Harley Benton is offering, this may be the place to go, as opposed to waiting for hoping that the item you want shows up on the Reverb site, or hoping that it pops up eventually, USA. Maybe you find something on the used market. Now, looking at the guitars, some of them are pretty similar. They got a kind of similar headstock shape. Let's see if we can find... let's go to the Thomann website and see if I can find that exact thing. So let's just go here, guitar and basses. Let's find basses, electric basses. And then we want like a 4-string jazz bass, if I can find it. Fretless bass. There we go, 4-string J bass. And here's going to be a good comparison right here. So let's do bigger. I wish I could make this larger. There we go. Look at that headstock shape. Just look at the headstock shape. Let's go over here. I know this is technically a slightly different model, but look at the headstock shape. It is the exact same headstock shape. Yes, I think these are two slightly different models, but exact same headstock shape. Let's see if I can find one of these that's a little less fancy with the dots. Maybe we can do here. And I mean, obviously, I think what they're probably trying to do is slightly different configurations so they're not getting sued. I think that's kind of what it comes down to, is if you do a slightly different configuration, I think this is going to be more comparable, these two right here. Yeah. I mean, this one's got a little bit of a flame top on it. But this also comes with a little gig bag, which is always nice to have a little gig bag. But it's an Indo. I-N-D-I-O. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that the reality of it is, when it's an overseas instrument, most of this stuff is coming from the same exact manufacturer. Now let's see what we get the price here. I mean, you got to keep in mind shipping, because this is going to be free shipping with Prime, and then you go to Harley Benton and get something. It actually might be cheaper. Something like this, being that I'm almost 100% positive that this, we'll put it right next to each other, and this were built in the same exact factory. I would probably get this over the Harley Benton, because after shipping and fees, this would probably be cheaper. Let's see if we can find another comparison here. The Les Pauls were a little bit different. That is something to notice too. They're not 100%, shot for shot, but let's just find. Let's do the Strat. Why not? The Strat's always one here. Look at the headstock there, an Indo Classic. Now, let's see if I go to the Harley Benton site, if we can find the exact same thing with a Strat. So let's go to electric guitar, ST style guitars. Yep, that's what we want. And then let's see, what was the color of this one? Blue, like an HS configuration. Let's see if we can find that. I can guarantee you we can if I look for a couple of seconds here. Oh, they got like a Tom DeLonge. Oh, that's an actual Tom DeLonge. Yeah, we gotta do the manufacturer here. Let's fix that. There we go, Harley Benton. I was like, wait a minute, that looks like a Tom DeLonge guitar, because it was one. Oh, let's see if I can find one. I hope I find one with the configuration I want. Come on, humbucker single. Let's see if it'll let me pick the color. There's a lot of colors, Jesus. Pardon my French. Maybe a Lake Placid blue. Close enough. Why not? Not the exact same thing. But, yet again, if we look at the headstock shape, this one might be a roasted maple neck. Yeah, it is. This one is not. But if you look at the headstock shape, very, very similar. This one might have a hair bit of a wing more. Let's see if it gives us a close-up of the back. Nice big contour going on back there. Let's see if we get a pic of the back here, too. Yeah, very, very similar layout. So, to just kind of end this video before I drag it out too long, if you're looking to buy stuff off of the Tobin website, don't be afraid to look for other brands that are made in those same exact factories, because you, like Monoprice here, you might be able to find the same thing in the U.S. market for a little bit cheaper. Because keep in mind, these brands are buying these things in bulk. So if you have Amazon Prime especially, you can save a couple bucks there. Maybe, shipping is probably going to be a little bit more expensive depending on where you go. But if you just shop around a little bit more, especially with the cheaper brands, 9 out of 10 you can find something that is made in the exact same factory as something that you want. Is it going to be the exact same thing? Is it going to be a little bit different? There may be a different brand on the headstock. The shape might be slightly off. Depending on what you're looking for. But it is kind of cool to have that option, because now I'm debating whether or not, do I want to do the Harley Benton thing? Does the closed back matter? I've never had a cabinet with an open back. Will I like the open back? I have no idea. But that's definitely something to be kept in mind when shopping for cheaper gear. I would say cheap gear in general online, because Harley Benton is typically associated with cheaper stuff, and this Monoprice seems to be associated with cheaper stuff too. And they got a bunch of crazy stuff on here. If I do guitar amp, if you are interested, they have some heads too. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more expensive because it is a tube amp head. I think they have like a 50 watt and a 100 watt, which I'm having trouble finding. But there's one right there. There's a combo. Vintage 30 speaker tube amp head. $500. little pricey, but at the same time, you're definitely saving significantly more money because you're buying an off-brand as opposed to buying, your Marshall, your Orange, your Mesa Boogie, things along those lines, which this is probably a clone of one of them. Which one? That is a question I do not have the answer to. But other than that, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. Share, like, all that fun stuff. And as always, have a good one.